Well, hopefully we are live here. The signal is not doing so hot, so please bear with me. We're still getting things set up here a little bit. So we're making our attempt to not look too. There you go. Hey, Mr. Rolling Teeth, I do appreciate you checking in anyway. My World, My Way, Helen, Mickey RVing, Amber, and the guy you're hanging around with, your husband. How you doing? Merry Christmas to you. Sorry, I drew a blank on his name. I'm sorry. Mr. and Mrs. Baum. There. Covers everybody. All right, so we are going to attempt a little bit of a Christmas dinner. This is going to be a little bit longer of a live stream, as long as it stays up, than normal. Normally, I try to keep around 2 hours. This might be a little bit longer because what we're doing will take a little bit more time. So, unlike usual, we're going to be using some ingredients we normally don't use. And we are going to be using some tools we normally don't use. So we're going to be using some whole cloves. We're using hemp. Merry Christmas, Ken Alley Page. You appreciate it though. All right, so we got some cloves for our dinner, for the actual recipe. You have butane torch, which we're going to use to be caramelizing the glaze on top of the ham, and a bit of kitchen twine to tie the ham up with. So, the refrigerator, of course. We got things that are in the way, things we got to move, blah, 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 blah. But in here, we got a bit of pork, and we got a bit of chicken, but we're not going to be using the chicken tonight. We got a little bit of pork here. Not a big piece. This is 2.25 pounds. We got, and we do have stuff from today's lunch, which I used my panini grill. So I got to clean that up first. So we're going to throw that in there. So we got some other ingredients in there, but we're going to focus on the pork first because why not? All right, so let's put that down so we can see what we're doing. Move some things out the way here. So we are not cooking. Turn that heat down just a little bit. So, we got cutting boards, we got trays, we got all the other tools that we really are going to need. But first things first, we're going to get our pork, and we're going to fix it. A little bit of lemon in the bottom, so we're going to drain that first. Got a little hole here to drain this. That extra blood and whatnot. Just to try to control having a big mess. So set that down right there. Like this is 2 1/4 pounds of pork. A pretty decent amount of fat. I mean, it is a little bit colder than I want it to be. But we're going to trim it a little bit, Then we're going to tie it so that it's a little more round. So, looking at it here, we're going to take this frozen bit off on this side. So we're going to just use our paring knife here. We're going to take this bit off. And like I've harped on many a time before, make sure your knife is as sharp as you can make it. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more conducive to being round. So we're going to take this piece off the back here, which is going to wind up being on the inside. And no, we are not wasting this pork. This will go into a different dish. So that's a little bit better of a shape there. That's a little bit more conducive to what we are trying to do here. So we're going to be A-okay with that. My hand wiped off here a little bit. So we have that down there. We have a bag here, a silicone bag. We're going to use this for our scraps here of pork. This I will use for, might make some fried rice tomorrow, so we might use that for that. We got these are those short ones. These are those short little things. Well, we'll make it. We'll put the short one on there for now. This little cap here, it's right on the groove. There we go. Doesn't want to get on there. Okay, well, forget that. Ain't got time to wait. We'll just fold it up and put it up in there. Well, that was good. Bit of cream cheese fell in there. Well, that's actually butter, so I'm going to wipe that off real quick. Get back up in there. There we go. Stick that right there. Well, actually, I'm going to wipe that off. Because we need that for the, well, we use the scissors for that. Never mind. Like I said, we are a bit disorganized, so whatever. All right. Get myself comfy here, as I can be. So like I said, we got a bit of kitchen twine. We're going to tie it up before we start putting the cloves in. So we're going to find the edge here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to pull out a good length. I ain't too fussy when it comes to kitchen twine. I'm not worried about using too much or too little, or whatnot. So like I said, we got our pork, here. We got it wrapped up, sort of into the shape we want. We're going to turn it over. This is going to be the bottom on this side, on the right here. We got the bottom facing up. So we're going to take our twine here and always leave enough that you can work with and then just trim it. There's nothing saying it's got to be a certain way. Yeah, I mean, making it pretty is one of them essential skills of a good chef, of a good cook. But at the same time, pull that off there. There we go. And as you put the twine on, you put it in the position you want it. And if you're pulling it right, it'll help to press everything. And They get a little bit of visual interest. But it'll do the necessary task of holding it in the shape that's going to best, to allow it to cook the best. So hopefully we got enough twine for this. If not, we can add a little bit more. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. So try to make it even, if we can. So this is not the actual cut of meat that I wanted, but like I said, with a little bit of kitchen twine, we will get a result that is good enough, I think. That up there, I think. Like that would be close enough for what we're trying to achieve here. Okay, so there you go. Not too bad. Wipe my hands off here a little bit. Just got a little bit of that pork fat coming off of my hands. Got a little hand towel here. Dry stuff off. Melanie, Merry Christmas to you. I definitely hope you are having a good day with the family. Mother F Trucker, please don't try to make me do any yoga right now. So, so here's our piece of pork. So now, so I got a bowl here, so I'm not going to be sticking my contaminated fingers in here. So we're gonna dump a few cloves in here, maybe a dozen. So whole cloves. This is definitely going to give it that Christmas flavor, and you don't need to cut anything. I mean, you really don't need to cut. This has a sharp enough little point on the end. Just basically hook it in like that. So we're gonna kind of crisscross the piece of pork here. I'm gonna stick this one in the end because that's the main cut in right there. So it's not exactly as solid as the other rest of the meat here. We're gonna try to, like I said, try to make sure the flavor is even all the way around. There. And I think we got just enough pieces of clove for it. I'll stick 3 on the end. There we go. All right. So we're starting to look a little bit, somewhat decent, not too bad, not too bad. All right, so we are done with the cloves. We can put those away. We'll put those in the spice drawer when I can actually get to it. All right, let's see, where is it? Here we go. Getting my thing set. So we have here a little, Instapot steamer basket. Now, I just bought some olive oil, and this is my favorite brand called Lucchini, Lucini, Lucchini. It is a product of Italy. The flavor and quality, for me, has been right on the money. I really like the way it tastes. I like the way it smells. I like the way it cooks. I like it raw. I like it cooked. I like it as an ingredient in something. I think it does a very good job for that. All right, so let me unplug this here real quick. Get this out the way. Yeah. We'll stick that up there. If we need to plug the computer in again, we'll do that in a little bit. Like I said, I got some dirty dishes left over from lunch, so kind of we'll be cleaning that up as we can, and while we got the pork cooking there. Put that in there. Just move this dirty stuff out the way for the moment, and I think we'll be okay. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get a plate here. A little bit of a plate. We're going to take our piece of pork. We're going to rub just a tiny bit of olive oil on it. We don't want to be disturbing the whatchamacallit on there. We're going to put a little bit of oil down here on the steamer basket. And enough fat should be dripping out of it, I think. But we're just going to take a little bit of olive oil just to be on the safe side. Now, we will be putting a glaze on this afterwards, but right now we're going to get it cooked through. We're good. Well, my way, Helen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you see, this just fits. Grab another little wet wipe here for my hands. So this just fits in the steamer basket. Now, normally this will be roasted in an oven, but since we do not have an oven, which I am considering getting that Galan's oven that a lot of truckers seem to like. Just get that out the way real quick. Now, most of them are using it just to heating things up and, kind of brown things, but they're never really like I do, like right now. They're not cooking to my definition of cooking, which I know is a little bit more extreme than what a lot of truck drivers will do. Turn that light on as well. My interpretation of cooking in a truck is exactly the same as I would consider cooking in a house. Instant ramen is okay. Pizza bites from Totino's and microwave soup and microwave popcorn, that's all fine. It's all food. But it's still not my idea of real cooking. All right, so let me find my where my extension cord got to. Oh, here it is. Right where I put it. I just, when I'm going to cook, I'm going to actually cook. Right. So we got that turned on. We have our liner here. This is going to be pressure cooked, so it's going to cook a lot faster. It's got the moisture pressed into it, not taken out of it as with a regular oven. But that does mean it's not going to look the same. It's not going to have that super brown crust on it, but we're not really looking for that because the glaze that's going to go on the outside is going to do a lot of that for us. So, like I said, favorite olive oil, we'll stick that down in there. And I am sitting in Livingston, Montana at the town pump. The Albertson is right next door. Good grocery store. I've been very, very happy with every Albertson I've ever been to. Gillette, Wyoming, here in Montana, in Oregon. Every time I've been to an Albertson, I've been thoroughly pleased with what I've gotten. Hey, Sister Lynn, over 50 and Fantabulous. I did not stick around long enough to see you making your 3-ingredient biscuits I think you were doing. But not a bad idea. I mean, that's something I can do in the truck. All right, so but we got our pork right here. That's just going to sit right down inside here like that. Yep. Just going to sit right down inside like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's see here. So we're going to think I can find it. I have too much stuff up in here. And no, I don't. It's in my other pants. My little riser that I have for here. Yeah. Yeah. The French won't let him back home. Well, that's the French for you. What? Ah, the French. Now, the French, I'm sure the English can appreciate this. You know, my world, my way, Helen. To me, the French took the idea of being French and almost to a point weaponized it. Which, you know, I like other cultures. I like it when there's you know, when when an individual culture embraces itself and retains itself. You know, as a military brat, a Navy brat, you know, I grew up on American military bases in Japan. And having lived in another country and dealing with their culture is always something that we're going to do this. Yeah, we use this steamer basket here. If I can get it out. Now they ping that over. Dang it. Let's see if we can't fit it in this one. You know, like I said, growing up basically in a foreign country, as I did, I guess we're not going to use that. You know, I can appreciate the culture that country has. And, you know, having seen Japan close up from a quote-unquote outsider's view, even though I basically grew up in Japan, you know, I guess I kind of take it a little personally when it comes to Japan, but I really wish they would not embrace America as much as they do. Not to say that they can't, or don't appropriate my culture, but I just wish more of the younger generation would embrace their culture and flaunt it. People in Zimbabwe should not be afraid to be Zimbabwean. They should really, like I said, embrace their own culture and flaunt it. Don't be afraid. Like I said, just in Japan, don't be afraid to be Japanese. Yeah, I think we might have to do a little bit more of that. Okay. Well, we'll use it all. It's just like American culture. I want American culture to flourish because it's necessary. That's my heritage. That's my way of thinking. It's my way of believing. And of course, unfortunately, the French, and we're trying to get back to the topic at hand. The French, really go overboard with it. They not only don't quite embrace their own culture, but they are really snotty about it at times, and downplaying everybody else's culture. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But it is what it is. Well, that'll work. So I'm just making a couple of risers here out of some tin foil to get the basket up a little bit higher in the Instant Pot. And Margaret, we are having a Christmas ham. I don't know where I put that ham. Oh, here it is. We got the cloves in there, a little bit of garlic on it. We're going to be pressure cooking it. Backwoods PNW, how you doing? We're doing as good as we can for being at work on the road. We're in Livingston, Montana. We are taking a Peterbilt day cab semi-truck out to Linden, Washington, which is the very northwest corner of Washington. Not on the Olympic Peninsula, but on the mainland part of the thing, on the east side of the Puget Sound. We're taking it right up near the Canadian border. But first, we're going to be stopping in Spokane to deliver some tires for tractors. So we're doing our best. Okay, so we made a little couple of risers because my normal riser is missing. So we're going to see them in there like that. We got them stacked up so we can keep the thing from burning. Stick that in there. But a sufficient amount of water, so we're not going to be burning anything, but we're not going to have this submerged in the water. So we're going to get more of a steaming action going on. All right. So now we got that sitting in there. We're not going to add any other seasoning. We're not going to add any other seasoning. It's just the cloves, the pork with a little bit of the olive oil to keep it from sticking as much. Most of the other rest of the seasoning is going to come from the glaze we're going to put on it and just the natural flavor of the pork. Sugar Vanus, how you doing? Thanks for coming on in. So, Instant Pot. This is a 3-quart Instant Pot, the smallest they make. Let's go ahead and wipe up that little bit of blood and whatnot from the pork, the wipe that real quick. So we're going to set this. Now I have these, I bought an accessory kit and it comes with these little magnets here. Give you some timing on that. So this says basically per pound pork 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to set pressure cook. We're not doing 2 hours. I don't need 2 hours of pressure cook. We're going to bring this down. We're going to put that at 45 minutes. We got normal temperature. We got high pressure in the Instant Pot. So that's going to, so we got to wait for, we got to add the time, another 10 minutes or so for it to come up to proper temperature and proper pressure. Then the timer will actually start to do its thing. Now, we got a bit of a wait, so we're going to get some other things prepared and ready to go. Mikey the Meatball. Green eggs and ham. Who doesn't love that? So that is going to sit off to the side. So hopefully we can set it down there without disturbing it. There we go. Make sure it's relatively level. There we go. So we're going to take a couple of minutes to gather the other ingredients. Get them laid out, like I said, mise en place, getting things in their proper place and ready. So, kitchen twine, always a good thing for anybody in a kitchen. There's so much you can do with it to make your meals better. Trusting up a chicken, trusting up a pork roast into a proper shape that's going to cook better. Kitchen twine. So we're going to figure out where we're going to put it. Right there. Got a coffee cup it can sit in. I think it'll be okay. So we got some things to move around. Other than that, let's see. All right. If anybody would like to come on, feel free. There's the link. Mr. Brad Parks, how are you doing, sir? Hopefully you had a fun day at work, as I did. So, all right. So we're gonna do a little bit of cleaning of the lunchtime mess I made. Which, to me, it's worth it. I don't care how many dishes I dirty. I'd rather dirty a dish and eat well and enjoy myself than eating garbage. Which, to be frank, too many truck drivers do. That coffee cup is not wide enough for the twine. Oh well, see right there. So some of you may notice a little bit of red in the in here. Let's move this around here. Because of having my friend on the truck previously, and now she's not on the truck. So some of the stuff had to come out. So extra blankets, extra clothes, things that I had when I was before she got on the truck, and then when she left, I still haven't been home to grab that stuff and put it back on. So we gotta unplug it here. There we go. Move this around. So we got ourselves a kind of a Christmassy, North Woodsy type thing. So we got this sort of thin duvet, real light quilt, or not quilt, but blanket. This is supposedly a king size, so I had to double up And it came with these 3 pillows. And the moose says cozy cabin. The deer image there. So I just leave that over there at the foot of the bed. To get it make it a little bit more cozy, hide some of the not so glamorous stuff. And of course, everybody knows the head of my bed always has a collection of stuff. I just throw things over there. So. Get this thrown away. Nope, that is the trash. But on the truck, I do have some regular sugar, but I used the monk fruit sugar to cook a little bit, for the like oatmeal and cream of wheat, things like that. A little bit healthier of a thing on the truck. Right. So for dinner, let me move this stuff around here a little bit. Because it's going to have some black pepper, not the raw corn like I have here. We got a bit of honey. We got scissors, cutting board, bowl, knives, forks, spoons, butane torch for the glaze at the end. We got regular sugar. I got some brown sugar and the honey for the glaze. I got a little bit of cinnamon for the glaze. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there. Not a lot, just a merest touch. That'll go okay with the cloves that are in the ham. But this we could not use for the glaze because this will not caramelize like real sugar will. So this you add as an ingredient, as a sweetener overall, but it will not give you the result that you're looking for. Well, that was odd. So, but we got this on the truck anyway because I like that stuff. So we got some onion. We got some Italian herb seasoning. Salt. And that is kosher salt. I'm gonna set that right there. Okay. So I got my grinder for my pepper. Put that right there. Okay. We are going to use, I know what people are saying, we're going to be using some instant potatoes. I actually have one that's open in here. We'll use this one. We're going to be using some instant potatoes. But we are going to be putting in a regular potato as well. We will be using a regular potato as well to make this even better. So we're gonna have some big lumps in our mashed potatoes. So nice and hearty, big chunks like that. So we got to boil the potato first. So that's going to take a little bit. Selena Messmaker, how are you doing? Welcome on in. I appreciate you coming. Merry Christmas to you. I appreciate it. I'm always glad to have somebody come in and watch me make a fool of myself while I cook. Everybody who was here, who watched me spill flour all over the place when I made chicken and dumplings, All right, so we got. Here's something. So everybody who watches me knows I love ramen. Well, I got real wood chopsticks, and I ordered from Etsy this chopstick holder box. It's got the 2 dragons, one on this side facing inwards, and little yin yang symbol in the middle. So my chopsticks are always at the ready. Let's see, what else do we need? I mean, I do have some instant stuffing. I could do that. All I gotta do is boil water for that, so that's not a big deal. But we got these going. I said I got the sugar, I got some brown sugar in here somewhere. Where I put it. Oh, here it is. I just picked up a little bit of brown sugar. This has a resealable top. That's why I've never had this Wholesome brand, but it should be bad. Okay, the Instapot finally beeped. So now that it's finally starting to actually cook. All right, so besides that, the ice is always terrible. We're going to have some French cut green beans. We're going to saute that in a little bit of garlic and a bit of butter, a bit of black pepper. So we'll be having some of that. So we're going to get that prepared. We need a so we're just going to use what we have on hand. We got this Montana mug. We're just going to let those thaw out here. Now, unfortunately, these are not as it's shown on the package. These are all cut up, except for one, But these are all cut. I wanted long green beans, but you can only do what you can do. So these are not going to be as visually appealing, in my opinion, but we'll make do with what we got. See, French style green beans, which basically is a green bean split in half lengthwise, not cut up like it is, which is what they show on the, well, they show whole green beans. They don't show French cut green beans, even though it says it on the package. So, dang, that thing does not like being in the refrigerator. There we go. And of course, we will be making a gravy, a nice little sauce to go with the mashed potatoes, and hopefully it's going to pair just properly with the yeah, here we go. So we're not using beef, we're not using chicken, we're not. They do have a ham better than bouillon. We're going to be using sautéed onion better than bouillon, and this has an amazing flavor. An amazing flavor. Metal Music Maniac, TJ Jones, Bull of the Woods. How you doing, TJ? Hope everything is good down there in the Grand. I may be coming past your way when I leave near Seattle. Who knows? So, like I said, we got our green beans. We're just going to set those off to the side. Like I said, we're going to need to boil our potato to go into our instant potatoes. We'll be adding lots of a good amount. We got some evaporated milk. This is going into our mashed potatoes. Not just water, salt, pepper, maybe a touch of garlic. We will see. And of course, we've got garlic. We're going to pop up a couple of cloves here right away. 2. That's 3. And these two first ones are kind of small. Second 2 are kind of big, so I think we'll just do those 4. All right. So we are good for that. So now, like I said, we got to prepare our potato. Yeah. Well, Harry, I am not a drinker. I've never got a taste for alcohol. So I'm going to have to say no on that one. All right, so I hate that small cutting board. So we get our large cutting board back out. Close that up. And get our knife out. And of course, you make sure that you are safe using the knife. So you got to make sure that A, it's been properly sharpened, and B, you maintain it properly. So you're going to make sure with a couple little quick licks on the old steel there. Clean off any of the metal that's on the edge. It should be good. You really shouldn't be any metal coming off this when you're doing that. Mr. Ross Roames, all the way from beautiful England. So this is a standard russet potato. Split it lengthwise. Man, that wind is really kicking out there again. We're going to divide that into quarters. And we're going to cut this, just about a little over half an inch. Like I said, we're going to boil these up. And we're going to expand the potatoes, like I said, using the Idahoan instant potatoes. No other brand will I use with instant potatoes, and this is about the best in my opinion. I'll set that down right there. Get these in there. And while we are waiting to cook those, let's set that over here out the way. Put that out the way over there. We're just going to cover them with a little bit of water because we don't want them to get all brown and nasty. Or we want to prepare them ahead of time. So we're going to get those on the water, let those sit. There we go. But for the most part, we got all the ingredients we need right here. Green beans, potatoes, instant potatoes, the stuff for the glaze, all the stuff for our sauce. The ham is cooking. Not a real ham, but it is pork, so there you go. Mikey the meatball. Turkey? No, we're not doing turkey. We're doing a small ham, quote unquote, a pork loin. You know, actually, it's probably more of a shoulder butt, but anything else. So like I said, French cut green beans that have been not properly French cut. I can't do anything about that because I didn't do that. That came out of the bag that way. Mashed potatoes, a ham with some cloves in there. We're going to make a nice sauce and a nice glaze, and hopefully bring it all together and have it actually be something worth eating. But we're in a truck, so we have to make a few adaptation. Adapt to the situation a little bit more. I don't have a quote unquote oven, so putting that into a roasting pan and into an oven and basting it as I go along, not exactly going to happen. So we just got to do what we can do as we can do. So we get my trash over here, right there. There we go. So we'll put this away over here, and we'll do a little bit of cleanup while we're doing that. And that's the big thing in such a confined space. With this type of job, constantly on the move, constantly on a deadline, it is sometimes a little bit more difficult to keep a truck clean. So when I cook, especially when I have time, I like to clean as I go. Now, in a big kitchen where you can throw everything off to the side, throw it into the sink, it's, you just don't have to worry about it as much. And I can't find my sheath to my knife. Oh, of course, sitting right next to me. Stick that away. Put that in there. Go ahead and put the scissors away. Why not? Butane torch for later. Stick that up out the way. Get that closed. And we're going to move this stuff out the way over here where it's a little bit more stable on that side, because my fat butt's compressing it and causing things to move around. Excellent. Turkey and lamb. Oh, I wish I had some lamb. I wish I really did have some lamb. I mean, I ain't had lamb. I think the last time I had lamb was almost about a year ago. I did a live stream with the lamb chops. Was that last Christmas dinner? Did I do lamb chops? Or was that Thanksgiving dinner? No, I didn't do a Thanksgiving dinner last year. I think that might have been Christmas dinner. I think the last time I did something for Thanksgiving, I did Cornish game hen. I know, if somebody can look that up for me, I'd appreciate that. Let's get ourselves cleaned off there. Cutting board away. Put those away. Get everything else put where it needs to be, when it needs to be, how it needs to be. That always helps. Set that right there. Bing, bang, boom. Everything else is good. We'll set those green beans on the tray there. And I think that will be okay sitting up there as well. All right. So, but like I said, I bought this blanket the other day with temperatures down in the negatives. It's been a little bit of a stress not having all the stuff I originally used to have in the truck. But when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and helping out your friend, you'll make those sacrifices. So, well, in case of those of you who have not seen it, I'm going to show it to you. Besides the new pillows and blankets, this is my kitchen cabinet right here. So it's just a plywood construction, plywood and screws. So at the very top of the cabinet here, there is a hanger bar for coat hangers, but I don't use it. It does nothing but take up space. I might get a little bit more use out of. So I built that insert, slides right in there, not attached to the truck, but big enough that it does what it needs to do. So got my cutting board, some plastic plates up on top. This shelf up here, which is recessed back a little bit, that's all my ramen and Japanese stuff. So tempura, soba, ramen, soup base, soba sauce, but not all fits up on there. Pull out drawer, canned goods, my ramen bowls, and whatever needs to go there. Here we have our utensil drawer, knives, spoons, garlic press, rolling pin, mini tongs, whisks, spatulas, knives, scissors, can opener, all right there. Down here, like I showed you, I got the chopstick holder right there. This is all spices and ingredients like that, rice and potatoes and chili powder mix, and I think I got some pasta flour in there. Spaghetti, dry spaghetti there, aluminum foil. And then down the bottom is all my taller stuff. Panko breadcrumbs, cheese balls, olive oil, soy sauce, pancake syrup, all that stays down at the very bottom there. And of course, in the door, I got my taller, taller tools in the door. But that's one of those little things I had to do in order to make the truck livable. I mean, unfortunately, I cannot take these cabinets out because if I could, this would be a tall refrigerator right here. I'd have a refrigerator at least double the size. This would be a closed-in cabinet for a microwave or oven. And the cubbies right here, I'd redesign all that to regular cabinetry and make it that'd be all closed right there. But I'm not allowed to do that, so that's why I'm building I have built inserts to give me the utility I need. Well, Helen, I apologize, but not really. You know. And of course, I got a little tray here right next to the head of the bed. Otherwise things would just fall down right here. I made a little tray right here. On the side of the driver's seat and passenger seat, I have a little tray. Built a little shelf up here. Right behind, built this little shelf right here, sit on top of the printer, so I get a little bit more use. But when I get back in my truck, I have to redesign this a little bit so I can use that printer to its maximum capacity. So it'll work, but it's just a question of time. I have all the tools. I have drills, saws, sanders. I have all the tools to do that. I have the knowledge to do that. So, we just try to make do. Let's see here. Let's take a quick gander at YouTube here. I'll tell you when let's see here. Your channel, yes. Videos. Let's see here. Lamb chops from the sleeper. That was actually only 10 months ago. Okay. What date was that? That was February the 15th that I did the lamb chops. Okay. Which was, a week after my birthday. So, yes, my birthday, February the 8th. I will be turning 50 years old this next year. I do expect large monetary gifts. If you got to hawk everything to send me a couple $100 or a couple £100, well, I said I may have missed it. I remember doing Cornish game hen for one. I think I did that for one Christmas. And, like I said, I did lamb chops on February the 15th, which I thought it was earlier, but, 12 months or 10 months ago, I got too many other things to worry about than what would happen 10 months ago. So we're going to take a moment to do a little bit of cleanup. And man, this truck is shaking. I mean, you really can't see it on the camera here, but the wind is rocking the truck pretty fierce. Now let me grab a drink here. Skull. Yeah. All right. That one's clean already. Good. So I'm going to do this. 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 7, 9. Basically 11 pieces I got to clean up here real quick. So not too messy. I mean, some of these things had leftovers. Some of the things just were getting used as they got used. I didn't have time to really stop. I made lunch real quick, used the tools I had, and bang, there we go. See, Helen, that's all I ask for. I don't ask for everything, just 99%. I'm not greedy. You know, I don't need everything, just the majority. Yeah. Every once in a while, I buy some lottery tickets. You know, just as a passing. Hey, I might, if I get a few bucks out of it, I'm happy. But I, I, I look at it as, if it happens, luck and chance were on my side. I'll make the best use of it, whatever it is. But other than that, if I don't win, I'm not going to cry, because the money I spent was entertainment. It was meant to be lost. If I couldn't afford to lose it, I should have spent it in the first place. Stick that water right there. Now that's how I look at gambling and things of that nature. We put these cloves away. Now, I made sure to buy the smallest one I could buy, because I have no idea when I'll ever use cloves again. I mean, I'll probably use the allspice and the nutmeg a hell of a lot sooner before I use the cloves. But I do have several chicken recipes that cloves could be used in. I got about 7 or 8 recipes that are in my repertoire where cloves could be added to it. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so. But let me ask everybody, what is your normal traditional Christmas, holiday, New Year meal? What was it at your grandmother's house that you absolutely miss, that you would not consider it a real holiday dinner? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Guy Fawkes Day, St. Swithin's Day, whatever it is, that traditional family meal, what is it that you always missed, that you wish you could have for, like I said, for a Christmas dinner or a holiday dinner? The thing I remember the most is going to be the rolls my grandfather made, which he made them all the time, but when he made them during Christmas and Thanksgiving and for birthdays, it's like he put a little bit extra, attention to detail in them. Now, that's probably the number one thing I'll miss, that I miss about my grandfather. And for holidays, the rolls, the little sweet rolls that he made. I mean, I never really cared about whatever else went with them. They were always, it was, oh, we're having a turkey, and Pop is making rolls. I could have just sat there, especially as a real young child. I mean, I probably do it now if I had the chance. I could just sit there with a full you know, baking dish, just those rolls, a big crock of butter, and those rolls fresh out of the oven, piping hot. You slice into them. You put a big gob of butter in there. You let it. You put that one down. Cut up in a second roll, another gob of butter, a third roll, another gob of butter. Then you start eating the first one. That way, the butter's already just fully melted. Then you just keep. Every time you take one, you make one, and you take the third one. Oh, you take the third oldest one, and just ate them like that. Just. And I could probably just sit there and have eaten that. And I would be perfectly happy doing that. A Sunday roast. I mean a beef roast. I am at the Town Pump in Livingston, Montana. Exit 333 off of I-90. So that tells you I am 333 road miles, away from the state of Idaho, which we will be getting to tomorrow. Which, unfortunately, I need to drive tomorrow. I need to get over, we're going to be going to Post Falls, Idaho tomorrow, where we'll be stopping at a Pilot Flying J right near the border. I think it's exit 4, I believe, my memory serves. We will have free showers, and we will have laundry facilities, which I do need to do, because I am on my last pair of clean clothes. And to be frank and honest, I'm not going to put those, worn today. I haven't loaded or done anything. I just got up, got dressed, and drove. I didn't do anything in them. So I'm not total scumbag, dirty truck driver. Just a little bit. Not a total one, though. All right. 1 coffee cup. Done. And we're going to use this one to hold our twine. So, good. Move things around so they all sit on there. And no, the kitchen drawers do not slide out. I have my little wooden stand that I have everything prepped on. I need to have that in there, holding things back, and the door as well keeps everything contained. So I've had that question asked. Why didn't everything fall out? Well, designed it so it won't fall out. It's all got lips on the edges, and it just fits inside, so it's all held nice and contained. So not a big deal. I'd say we got about 10 people watching. I appreciate that. This is the boring part of the show. Waiting for that ham to cook. Then we can, the inverter I have in the truck will only allow me really to do one thing at a time. So I cannot, start the potatoes yet. And I can't start the glaze, and I can't, I just got to do one step at a time. So it's just a matter of picking what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how much of one thing I got to do before I swap out. Mr. Charles Brandt, how are you doing? Merry Christmas to you and yours. And I apologize to anybody who was trying to watch me on the drive today. The signal was really bad. The live feed just kept falling out. I mean, the first part of the first little bit of the day in Nebraska, just west of Bismarck, this morning was perfectly fine. The signal was nice and clear and strong, but here in Montana, it just did not want to cooperate. So, oh well, it is what it is. Just back from last minute shopping. Yeah, I mean, I did that here in Livingston. There's an Albertsons grocery store right next to the truck stop, which is nice. That's one of the reasons why I like coming here. But this is the reason. One of the reasons why I like stopping here, because I can get things like this. It's a pork belly. Now, this is not the best pork belly I can get. This is fairly thin pork belly. It's like 3/4 of an inch, not even a full inch thick. Pre-packaged, 1.3 pounds, roughly for each one. So, but I'm not going to be able to do everything I want to do with that, but I'll be able to do a couple of things. Which one is making my marinated pork for my ramens. 2, making some pork cubes for stir fry, just steamed in soups and whatnot. So we got that going. And I made a right mess today. But like I said, I did my last minute shopping, and even for Montana, Livingston, Montana, which is a little mountain, kind of a mountain, little mountain town, little small town. But the people in there were nuts. I mean, it's like, why did everybody in town decide to come to the store at the last minute? Why? Why did everybody have to come to the store at the last minute? I mean, I'm a truck driver, I got an excuse. There's like 5 grocery stores in this town, and y'all had to come here. But whatever, it's wasn't too bad. I waited in line a little bit and did my checkout, and we're good to go. So I got the things I needed. I got my cloves. I got my brown sugar. I got my honey for the glaze. So I had everything that I absolutely needed. I said I picked up some wipes. I picked up some tissues. Picked up the olive oil, the monk fruit, sweetener. So we're good for that. So not a problem. It's just like, why are you people acting this way in here? It's like, you all are home every day. Why didn't you play? You know it's going to be crowded in there for all the other knuckleheads in town coming to the grocery store. Why think ahead and go to the grocery store before you needed to? I ordered a lot of stuff from Instacart, but they brought it to me. It's like, Fargo, North Dakota. They brought. I got the shopping, did it online. They brought it to me. Not a problem. Hey, Janet A., how are you doing? Merry Christmas to you and yours. Welcome on into the boring part of the show. So while we're waiting for our ham to cook, we're doing a little bit of cleanup and just chit-chatting. And if anybody wants to come on, there's the link. As soon as it decides to pop up. And hopefully the internet can handle it. Having trouble connecting. Okay, there we go. Yeah, having a little bit of connection issues, so if I fade out, I apologize. Yeah. So Janet A., what meal do you miss the most about holidays that you used to get at your grandparents' house or whatnot that you just can't get anymore? That's the way you do it. Get it done. Get it done early. Oh, Brad. Okay. For those of you who watch other trucking shows or here on YouTube, one of the biggest trucking shows out there is Trucker Josh. Yep. And he had just posted a video today. He's out in Winnipeg, Steinbeck, over in Manitoba, Canada. They went to the store yesterday. Traditional turkey with homemade rolls and pies. There you go. Tom Reed, long time no see, sir. Thanks for coming in. Like I said, he was at the store, and they're having the lockdowns again. And in the grocery store, they got tarps and plastic hanging over certain items in the store. You can buy the thing to the left, you buy the thing to the right, over top, underneath of it, across the aisle, on the other aisle, right adjacent to it, but you couldn't buy certain items, which doesn't make any sense. All right. So we got our silicone bag. Got that one cleaned. Yes, traditional turkey. Like I said, I'm really thinking about buying that Galan's oven because my inverter will work with that, and I can actually do a little bit of baking. So, like I said, with Mr. Brad up there in Toronto, having lockdowns, being locked out for 4 weeks. 4-week lockdown for this stupid overreaction. That's, I don't get it, but all I can do is stay up. All I can say is, maybe a little bit more of the revolt needs to go on. Get all these politicians out of our lives. Nottingham. Up, Mr. Reed. I'm sure, especially when dealing with Americans who actually know a little bit about literature and history, I'm sure they always ask you about Robin Hood. Being from Nottingham. 55 degrees and raining. What do we got here? We're down in the 30s, I think, here right now. Let's just look at the old weather. Livingston, Montana. 36 degrees. Feels like 21. Ugh. Clear skies. Let me turn this down a little bit so the camera can get it. 44-mile-an-hour winds. That's why the truck is rocking and rolling. West Texas, you don't get any. What part of West Texas are you in? Because I have family. I have family in Kerrville, Texas. And I also have family up in Brownwood, Texas. Well, there's a certain amount of taking care and just be clean, just be normal about it. It's this overreaction to it that I have a problem with. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of those podcasts is about virology, about viruses. I listen to one about immunology, one about bacteriology, one about microbiology, one about parasitism. Yep. And it's like listening to these doctors and these PhD scientists who talk about these things, I guess gives me a different perspective on it. I don't see the need to be panicking for any disease. So, but that's just opinion, so I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah, I would say, Brownwood, 89 miles. So, Lake Brownwood. I stayed up there in the RV visiting my grandparents when they moved out there from Baltimore. That's what they want to do, to be closer to other relatives that were down in Kerrville. So they packed up and moved from Baltimore out to Texas, which don't really understand that one, but that's what they want to do. So that's what they did. All right. We are getting clean. All right. All right. So we are, like I said, we are running a little bit longer. That's got about 4 minutes, and that ham should be done, and it can sit there. So we should be good for that. So we're gonna try to wrap up the a couple of other dishes. We'll get those clean so we can. Next, we're gonna do the potatoes. We're gonna get this russet potato boiled up. Then we will do the glaze for the ham. The last thing we're gonna do is the green beans. We'll do those last because they'll chill off a lot faster. Plus, I got some aluminum foil. I can put things into bowls and cover them up with the with some aluminum foil, so there shouldn't be that they should hold off. They should hold pretty good. And then, of course, the last big rush, getting everything to come together. Let's take that around. I'm not going to get to that one. But other than that, like I said, that's the biggest thing for me in the truck. Not having enough electrical power to actually do multiple things at one time. Underwood Barbecue. Off of I-20. Is that off Interstate 20? Or are you talking in Brownwood? I remember the name, but I'm not remembering where it's at. The best barbecue place, and I'm sorry, Janet, if I offend you. This is opinion. The best barbecue place was off of US 287. US 287, Memphis, Texas. Fat and Happy Barbecue. That place I thoroughly enjoyed. On the right, May Dragon, Brownwood. So if you're going south in Brownwood, you have the Walmart off on the left-hand side on the north end of town. So it's going to be on the right-hand side, a little bit further down. Correct? It's been a while since I've been to Brownwood. Let's see. Almost about 12 years, I think, since I've been there. A huge neon cowboy out front. The only cowboy place that has the huge cowboy in front is the Big Texan up in Amarillo. That's the only one I know of. But, that's that. Okay. But we're not going to get to the panini grill here. So we're just going to, we'll have to deal with that later. We're just going to slide that under here out the way. There we go. So we don't step on it. Whatnot. So put those over there out the way. Here we go. All right. So we're going to take a look at our ham. Yeah. There we go. So this is ready. That is cooked for 45 minutes. So we're gonna take a look and see if we're good to go. So be careful with the steam coming out, because that will burn. Be careful. I was down in your neck of the woods 1 month ago. I made a delivery in Houston, picked up a load in Seguin, Texas. I was supposed to pick up a load up in Fort Worth, and I spent the weekend in Fort Worth, but that load fell through. I had to go pick up a load actually over in Louisiana, so I had to go all the way back to Louisiana. But that was about a month ago. Let's see, that was the 21st. Let's see, the 21st let's see, the 22nd was Saturday or Sunday, 23rd. Yeah, I believe it was the 23rd I left there. So 3 days before that, I delivered in Houston. And like I said, I picked up at Seguin. That's actually the second time I picked up. Second time I picked up at Seguin. The first time I picked up at Seguin was about almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago, I picked up a backup generator and took that out to Dothan, Alabama, following right behind a hurricane that went right through that area. So I always remember Seguin for that. Oh yeah, I had to deal with the hurricane, dealing with that. All right. Okay. So the crusher is almost done with this. We're going to kind of help it out here. Going to push that button down. So let's take a gander at what we got. Let me grab something I can put my hand on the bottom with. We got a silicone mat here that nice heat proof. So, with it right there we go. All right, here we go. It definitely smells of cloves. So, like I said, not as pretty, but the glaze is hopefully going to take care of that. Move these out the way here. So very pale. We should be cooked through all the way. The string on there, the twine on there has helped to keep the shape we wanted. All right, so we're just going to stick that right back in there to keep warm. We are unplugging it, so we're just going to rely on the heat that's in there, the water and the mass of the pork, the water and the mass of the of the Instapot and our reflective energy to hold that in there nice and neat. Sorry. Turn that off real quick. Set that right there. So next we are going to, like I said, we got some potato to boil and soften up. Turn that off. Mostly water here, but a little bit of pork fat dripping off there. So I'm going to wipe that down with a rag thing there. So good, good. Let's stick that right there. Let's see. Hot plate. We're going to set that right there. Here we go. Turn that up to maximum because why not? So here we got a little 8-inch mini wok right there. We got our russet potato all cut up. We're just going to use the that liquid there to boil it. We might add a little bit more water, but there we go. So first we're going to get these nice and soft. Yes, the skin is on. I like the skin on a potato. So we're going to leave the skin on, let those cook. And then like I said, we're going to be putting those into some instant potatoes. These are Baby Reds mashed potatoes, home style red and russet potatoes with skins perfectly blended with creamy butter, which has been dehydrated, so it can't be too damn creamy. We're going to add to that to make it really the creaminess we want. Like I said, we got some evaporated milk, not condensed milk, evaporated. We didn't make it a thick syrup. We got some butter, some Kerrygold butter. Actually, we got a little knob here. There we go. This is the later way. We'll use this one first. Then we'll use the good butter. We're going to use this in the mashed potatoes and then on the mashed potatoes. So we'll set that right there. We'll put that part back just for now. Like I said, we got to boil those up, and then we can, like I said, we're going to be making a glaze, which we're going to use a flatter pan. We're going to use a 9-inch pan to make the glaze. It's going to help to boil a little bit faster, and also, caramelize a little bit easier. So we got some honey. We got some brown sugar, which is going to help us to do that. And if I feel the need to, we'll add a little bit of regular white sugar, but we're going to put a little bit of cinnamon in there. The cloves we already got on the ham, so we don't need to add that into the glaze. A little bit of color, but to get the glaze kind of thick. Then we're going to really caramelize it with the butane torch. We are not joking around when we're cooking. You will not see this on any other truck driver who does any kind of cooking in the truck. I mean business. I cook like I'm in a house. I do not have any qualms about breaking out my pasta maker. I have a sous vide machine. I have the Instapot, pots and pans. Butane torch. I have real pots, pans, plates, knives, and forks. I don't do any of that plastic stuff. I have a couple of quick little plastic plates here, But this is just to hold stuff temporarily, or just to make a quick sandwich. This is not dining. This is just, scarf something down. Just a way to hold some stuff. And, like I said, I have real chef's knives. 1. My Jap 2. 3. This is a full-size chef knife. I really don't need 3, but let's do it anyway. So when I cook on the truck, it's the same exact way that I cook in a house. I don't compromise cooking. It just doesn't make sense to compromise simply because you're in a truck. Right, so we're gonna slide this over a little bit. There we go. So in order to speed up the cooking process a little bit and to get some of that flavor I want from the potatoes, some good old kosher salt. I am not afraid of salt. I am not afraid of fat. I am not afraid of eating like a normal human being just because I'm in a truck. Which there are truck drivers out there that think because they got a microwave and they're heating up the soup that they're eating in the truck. Or they're cooking in the truck. I microwaved a bag of popcorn. I made some hot dogs on a George Foreman grill. I made a pot pie, a banquet pot pie. I put that in the microwave, and they think they're cooking. I guess that's just, my opinion. But if you're going to cook, really cook. Make pasta from scratch in the truck. I do that. Make chicken and dumplings. Make a Christmas ham. Lamb, Cornish game hen, ramen, stuffed pork chops, steak, pot roast. Anything and everything that you would cook in your house, I'm going to cook in my truck. Because for the most part, this is my house. This is where I live. I work 24/7, 7 days a week. I don't take time off because as a heavy haul driver, I already have enough time off. I'm going to have this weekend off because A, Christmas, but also B, the place I'm delivering to is not open on the weekends. So whether or not Christmas happened, I was not going to be delivering until Monday anyway. So while I'm sitting around on Saturday or Friday night, Christmas night, while I'm sitting around Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to eat well. I'm not going to go to the Denny's or the Waffle House or the Arby's or the Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever's around there. I'm going to do all that myself. A couple of cooking videos ago, I made ramen and tempura in the truck. I don't see why anybody ever needs to suffer. Okay, so those are boiling. We're gonna let those go for a little bit. Those are gonna get nice and tender. Like I said, when I make the instant potatoes, basically just dump them into water, stir them up. We're gonna add, we're gonna get those nice and smooth. Now this has a little bit of lumps in it, but not a whole lot. But we're gonna add the nice big chunks in there. Put our milk into it. Put our butter into it, and we're gonna have a nice, rich mashed potato. But I did say the last thing we're gonna make are the green beans, because they just take a moment to boil up and get hot. We're not trying to cook them to death. We're trying to warm them up. But we got the potatoes to make. We got the glaze for the ham to make. We got a gravy to make as well, which is going to take a little bit of time, but not too much. And then we can bring it all together, and hopefully, unfortunately, because my good plates are in my truck, not this loaner truck, we got some. We actually do have a couple of real plates. I don't have my pasta bowls. That's what I don't have. We got a real, a real ceramic plate. So we're gonna have a real meal. It's not just the making of the food; it's how we eat it as well. That's why I have real bowls, real plates. I want to feel like I'm eating at home, not out of a truck. No paper plates, no plastic knives and forks. And I saw one guy, he pulled out a drawer filled with plastic knives and forks. I mean, this here constitutes all my spoons. I have regular pointed spoons, I have round spoons, forks, and one butter knife. Now I have 2 or 3 paring knives, which I use as steak knives. 3 kitchen knives, chef knives, like plastic knives, forks, spoons. It's like, why do you spend money for that? If you're going to do that, get the free ones from inside the truck stop. All right. Let me get a. I'm just use a little spatula here. Turn that around. So we are at a point now. That just went too white. So these are nowhere near tender. They're just hot all the way through. So we got a little more to go with that. So get that lid on there. Keep that pressure nice and high in the bowl, in the pot, so it stays boiling. So we are going to make our gravy. We need a few ingredients just for that. Now, the easiest way to thicken the gravy would be to use cornstarch. That'll thicken it real quick, but it will not give me the same exact result. See if I can see it from here. Pardon me, I need to get down here and kneel down and pray I can find what I'm looking for here. So, pardon me. Probably all the way in the back. Here we go. Wonder flour. This is what we're going to be using to make our gravy. Butter and wonder flour. Throw this stuff back in here. We're going to use a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little tiny splash of soy sauce in our gravy. Just enough to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of that meaty flavor. We're not trying to make it taste like soy sauce. Like I said, we're going to use some of the roasted or sauteed onion, better than bouillon. Which we need a little cup. We're going to go ahead and get the gravy, the main flavoring of the gravy. We're going to get that started now. All right. So like I said, we're just going to take a little splash of Kikkoman soy sauce. Let's use this cup here. That's it. Just a tiny, tiny bit. A spoon out here for our sauteed onion. Oh, that smells. the aroma that's coming off of this is just amazing. This is like liquid gold. I mean, it doesn't look like a whole lot. I mean, it's just a brown, kind of thin, sticky paste. You know, just concentrated flavor there. Gonna stick that in there. We don't need a lot. That'll suffice. Go ahead and stick that back up in there. Now we do have some kitchen bouquet, browning sauce. We do have A1 sauce, but we're not going to use that. We have hoisin sauce. We have chicken. We have beef flavored better than bouillon. But we're not going to be using that. All right. Let's see. What else do we need? Oh, that's right. We need a little touch of salt. We stick that in right away. We will be coming back by using more salt at the end. Bit of black pepper. This will not be spicy. The black pepper will give us a flavor that we are going to like. And we're going to make up the majority of the volume is going to be water. Stick that right there. Man, that wind is kicking butt out there. This truck is rocking. Man. So we're going to mix this up. We're going to let this paste dissolve into the liquid. Now, of course, if the water was hot, it would do a lot better. Hey, YouTube with attitude, how you doing, sir? All right, so we're getting our gravy flavor base all set. I set that right there. Gonna get a fork out here so I can test my potatoes. No, just a little bit too firm still. Right. Set that right there. So 1 drop flour. If you're gonna make a gravy, you're gonna make a sauce, you want to thicken it up, use this. Okay, we need to plug in the old computer here. Hopefully it doesn't knock anything out, but there we go. Plug that in. There we go. Okay. Only had like 5% battery left, and it looked up. I'm definitely happy about that. God bless. And damn thing fell out. Don't be falling out. I told you to fall out. There we go. So God bless and Merry Christmas to you and yours. So like I said, the ham is pretty much done cooking. We're going to make it a little bit prettier with the glaze. Potatoes are, the whole potato, the fresh potato, still got a little bit to go. We're going to get a couple of bowls out so we can put things in and have them sit around for a moment. So got some onion skins we gotta get out of there. So use my ramen bowls here for potatoes and whatnot. I put these towels in between the bowls and the plates and other dishes so that they don't rattle as I'm going down the road. A little bit of cushioning. All right. Now that's almost all completely dissolved. We're going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. Just basically dried herbs, basil, marjoram, thyme, oregano. You know, a good overall little mix of herbs that really help to, it's almost kind of universal type thing for me. I mean, make a gravy, add that into the, add that into a lasagna, tomato sauce, even putting it in tuna fish works really, really well. So let these herbs steep in the water so they release their oils, and it really brings the flavor out as it's supposed to. So we're gonna put the soy sauce away. We don't need that anymore. Put that away. That away. And I think we're good to go. So the next thing we got to do, which involves a little bit of knife work, we're going to cut up a little bit of onion for our gravy. So, use our standard French knife here. There we go. Do that. Skin off there. Slice that outer layer. I always peel off the entire outer layer. Normally we would go into a compost bin for a vegetable garden, but don't have that luxury at the moment, so we're just going to take a little bit of a slice out of there. We're going to take about a sixth of the onion at the most. Maybe a seventh. So we got, here we are. Unfortunately, I do not have any vacuum bags because they're like cold right now, just like wipes. So I just got the little Ziploc bags. Vacuum bag would be better, but we're just going to throw this in there. And we'll create our own little vacuum for this. Oh my goodness. Chonggung, all the way from Korea. Thank you very much for coming in. I do appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to slice this nice and thin. Because we want the onion here to kind of melt into the gravy here, into the sauce. So we're going to cut this really, really fine. And that will help to extract as much of the flavor as possible as well. So we're going to really cut that nice and fine. And always with a knife, like I always say, be nice and careful. There we go. Got that set. We're just going to take one of these plates. I'm going to set it right there. Our potatoes should be almost done, I think. So we're going to give that a quick little check. So we got our gravy almost ready to go. Set that right there. All that together. we don't need the cutting board anymore, so we should be good to go. That off. And I'm not worried about things on the floor. I have a vacuum. I'll clean that up a little bit later in case anything does spill on the floor. There we go. Dry that off. Dry that off. Cutting board away. That in the trash. There we go. Bing, bang, boom. Simple as that. So the only thing left for the gravy, so we got our base right there, our liquid base. We got our onions ready to rock and roll. We'll stick that over here out the way. The only thing left is to make the roux, which that doesn't take much time at all. All right, set that right there. Didn't take much to make that nice and soft, so we're good to go. See what the salt level is. All right, nice and salty. So I'm going to turn that off for a second. Put this to the side here. So we got a little spoon here with some holes in there to drain. Because we're not going to get rid of this water here. We're just going to take the potatoes out. Because most of the water is boiled off or been absorbed by the potato. We want that. We're not going to get rid of the salt that's in there. We're not going to get rid of that water that's in there. All that starch as well. Turn that right back up. Pour some more water in. Yep. We're going to get that up to a boil again. Set that right in there. Those down there. But we don't have to worry about covering these up as of yet. The simple fact that these are going to be going into the hot instant mashed potatoes. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Well, that's the only reason why this is going to be a much longer live stream, because just not having the ability to do two things at once, that's the big limiting thing got to deal with. Other than that, not going to really complain. Miss Linda Barker, I'm sorry I didn't see you there, ma'am. It's been a little while since I've been back to Ohio, so my apologies. But the last time, the second to last time, I was actually in Ohio. Me and Miss Linda Barker had a nice dinner. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for the company. I do appreciate it. And maybe if we're lucky, we can do it again sometime. So, got me a nice 9-inch pan here, to which we're going to be using for some of the preparation here. We're pretty much going to use this one here for making our glaze. And we got okay. Internet device fell down, battery fell out. So hopefully we are back. Give me a quick message here if you if it's back up here. Let me know if we're back on the air. I think we are. We should be. I hope we are. All right, so it says we're live, but you can only trust so much. All right, so we got ourselves a whisk. Okay, we're good. Like I said, my internet crapped out on me. The little internet device fell down, the battery fell out, so that's why it probably froze up on you. But all right, so we got our instant potatoes. Water's boiled. There's plenty of salt in it from the fresh potato. So we're gonna put that in. We're gonna whisk it so it doesn't get, lumpy as per se. We want to get that nice and smooth, even, consistent. We want this to be a little bit thicker than normal, what you would do with instant potatoes, because we're going to put milk in here and some butter. So we got to kind of go fast with it. Should have a knife. So we're going to bit of butter to make it expand, give that rich flavor to it. There for a moment. That's nice and that's really firm, more so than what you would normally desire. Okay. Get out of the way. Find my doodad. Now I don't want to do the pop top on here. Well, I did too. I mean, I had things sitting up there. I went to get my other pan out, and jostled it just enough so it fell. So we're just gonna open that up just like that, because I don't want to open the lid all the way up. Set that right there. Gonna heat up a little bit. Whisk that a little bit more. So what this dump the whisk. Now we're going to go to a regular spoon, because that's going to work a little bit better. More milk. Last bit of this small little knob of butter, we stick that in there as well. Bing, bang, boom. A touch of black pepper. Right there. We got one of the cloves of garlic. Gonna get the skin off here first. There we go. We got our little garlic press here. This one is an IKEA garlic press. Get it there. Scrape that off of there. Good, good. What I like about it, the little cup comes out, which makes it a whole lot easier to clean. We're going to scrape all those little bits out of there. Get that in here. There we go. Set that over there out the way. Stir that in. We're going to thin it down a little bit more with some more milk. Now, we could have put the garlic in the water and let it steep a little bit. That'll make it a little bit more mellow. I want it to be a little bit stronger, so we just do like that. Then we're going to take our whole potatoes like that. Dump that right on there. Mash those up a little bit as it stirs together. A little more milk. I said it's going to be full of fat, which I like. Now, I also like using chicken broth in the mashed potatoes. That definitely is always a nice thing. All right. Get back here. Don't escape. Oh, yeah. All right, so now go ahead and scoop those out into our bowl here. I said nice and thick, full of fat, full of flavor. I got lucky. I had the right amount of salt in it from the beginning, so I don't need to put any more salt in there. I take a nice spatula there, really clean this out. There we go. There we go. So now, There we go. Now we're going to take just a tad of water, just a little touch of water there. Help us clean up. We're going to take another kitchen towel because the little wet wipes aren't going to do it on something that's hot. There we go. So use a regular cotton kitchen towel to really get it clean. All right. There we go. Put that back on there. Now we're going to start really cooking here. We're going to take a bit of butter. We're going to make our roux for our. No, we're not going to make the roux yet. We're going to make the glaze first. Sorry. Priorities. All right. So turn that heat down a little bit. So we're going to take a bit of brown sugar. Spare ribs. I go for some spare ribs too. All right, so we got a little bit of brown sugar. So let's take a. Here we go. Take 2 scoops of that. Get in the pan. Set that aside there. So we can't close this up. There we go. But we'll have to wipe off the zipper there. We're going to take just a tad, just a touch of water. There we go. Because we don't want that to burn. We want it to caramelize. So we got a little bit of a little touch of honey. Put it off here. This is a raw, unfiltered honey. Definitely a little bit more of an acquired taste. We're going to put just a little dab of that in there. We don't want much. I don't want it to overpower everything else. Get this lid, get this closed here. We got another whisk here. Actually, I have 2 whisks. The heat's been turned off. And we'll let the water evaporate real slow. We're not trying to win any races right here at the moment. We'll stick that in there so we can close this door. All right. Got to get my aluminum foil, sorry. Like I said, big kitchen, I can move around a lot easier, but throw that in the trash. Got a little bit of potato left, so we're gonna cover this up. Keep that as warm as we can keep it. Put a step that over here, halfway, as much as it can be. There we go. All right, I need got my cast iron pan here. We're going to set that down right there. We're going to set this up, hot sugar on my trivet, my silicone trivet, so it doesn't do any harm. There we go. We got our hot pork. Let's take that out. Couple of these. There we go. Need a little help there. That's quite hot, so be careful when you do something like that. All right. Merry Christmas, Margaret. So we're going to turn the this hot plate on. There we go. We do want to try to put a little bit of color to this pork, but that's why we're using the cast iron pan here. I have resurfaced the inside to what I want, not the factory, so that this the black coating on the outside, on the cooking surface on the inside, I stripped all that off. Angle grinder, oscillating sander, random orbit sander, sander. Get that. Get that surface to the way I want it, because the way it was originally, not for me. It just did not cook the way I wanted to cook. I've been busy, I'm never, the only time I have downtime is when I really, there really is no load that's viable for the company, dollar-wise, or I'm waiting the weekend for some place to open up. Now, I may have a little trouble when I make my delivery in Spokane on Monday. I may have trouble getting over Snoqualmie Pass going to Seattle. I may have a little bit of issue there, but there's nothing I can do until the day I'm going through there, whether they put the chain laws on or not. If they put chain laws on, there ain't a thing I can do. I just got to sit there and wait till the chain law goes away. So we got a pair of larger kitchen tongs. Right, we're gonna put a little dash of olive oil in the pan, I think. That'll have to brown up a little bit better. There we go. So, unfortunately, we're on a lean here, so everything wants to collect on the far side of the pan. There we go. So we still got the string on. You can see the cloves in there. Let's take a little tiny bit of the pork. It's a little bit drier than I want it to be, but I think we'll be okay. Got too many things all in the way here. It gets real messy real quick in the truck, especially when you don't have any place to put anything. Our glaze is still, rather liquid, so that's okay. Try to clean some of this stuff up and put it away while we have a moment or two. Take these small tongs. There you go. Those cleaned off. Yes, I picked up. They're on the other side of Snoqualmie. They're in North Bend. I picked up the GLG scissor lifts out of there several times. And that's one of the one of the most probable things I'll be doing once I deliver up, northwest Washington, north of Seattle, up near the Canadian border. That, it's either going to the port of Tacoma or going to an auction site or going back to North Bend to pick up something there. I picked up in Othello, picked up in Pasco, Rochester, going all the way down to Salem, going all the way down to Bedford. going down into California, that's always a possibility. We get a little bit of color on there. We need to turn that up a little bit more. A little more olive oil is called for. All right. You know, a little more lubrication going on. And that's quite hot. Well, not quite hot, but it's getting there. We got little bits of pork in the bottom of the pan, which is a good thing because they will caramelize, and that's going to help to make some of the gravy. So I'm not too worried about that. But now, what I want to do is I got the flavor of the cloves into the pork, so I don't need the cloves overpowering the rest of the dish. So we're going to go ahead and pull a little splatter of heat there. So we're going to pull these cloves out. Use my knife here, I guess. You know, we're going to take the majority of the clove out. So most of it's going to stay in the pork. We want to get that top out of there. There you go. So we want to reduce the effect of the clove. We don't want it to be so intense. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and pull those out. There you go. That one out. Take that out of there. There you go. Easy to go in, harder to get it out. There we go. One last one on the end. All right. We got one more left. All right. Turn that over. See a little bit of brown on there. You see a little bit of browning there, which is what we want. There we go. Turn that heat down just a tiny, tiny bit. Try to get a little bit of color on there. Then we can start working on our glaze. We can actually just set it to the side, set it in the glaze. There we go. I think that's just about what we're looking for there. Just a tiny, tiny bit. I'm going to set that in the pan with the glaze. I'm going to take a little bit of our Wonder flour right there. Right into the olive oil. We could use butter. We're just going to use the fat that's already present in here. Turn that down. That flavor that's in there. Get all them brown bits off the bottom of the pan. Move this off to the side real quick. We're going to put our onions in there. There we go. Put this underneath there. Scoop that over just a tiny, tiny bit. There we go. I want to melt my plastic plate here, so we're going to move that down out the way. that out the way. We don't need any more of that. Going to add a little bit of liquid from the onions as they sweat out. We're going to add the main flavoring right there. Put that in there. And that's going to reduce and thicken. There we go. All right, here we got our pork in our glaze. I'm going to stick this off to the side here. There we go. Now, normally you're going to baste this while it's cooking to really get the glaze on there, but I'm going to kind of just swish it around. Maybe get a spoon here, I think. Let's get a spoon here. Yeah. Sugar, water. That's all the glaze really is. A little bit of honey, a little bit of brown sugar. Got the flavor of the cloves in there. Spoon that on. What I do with it, here we go. Here's the fun part. Gonna caramelize that a little bit at a time. Excuse me. Like I said, you're definitely not going to see anybody doing this a whole heck of a lot. We are trying to do this a little bit faster than normal. But sometimes you got to make some compromises. There we go. I would like to get a nice orange color, but we will do what we can. The little bit of water that's remaining, we're trying to boil off here. Just leaving the sugars from the honey and the molasses and the sugar. All right. There we go. We're starting to get it. Starting to look good. Man, that wind, I tell you. Turn that up a little bit more. Stir that up. Right. A little more with the torch. It does the trick there, Charles. It does the trick. Starting to look good. Let me take my little piece of clove I missed. We're going to take that out of there. Here we go. Concentrate a little more on this side, I think, now. Yeah. So whenever I hear a truck driver saying, "Well, I can't eat healthy on the road. I can't do on the road because I don't have a big full kitchen." Whose fault is that? I kind of think that you apply yourself. There we go. Get them flavors a mix in there. A little more browning went on. I might not have put enough butane in here. All right, we're pretty much out of butane, so poop, not as much as I want to do, but I think we should call that somewhat successful. Here. Sauce is coming along. Starting to thicken up a little bit. So, gonna throw our green beans right in this pan here. Up the side there. A little bit of water. Okay, we're just gonna heat these up real fast. We are not gonna try to cook them, till they're dead. We're just gonna warm the green beans through. So we are going to put our foot down gently. Gonna shove that over just a little tiny bit. Do some juggling here. Put this towel down as a trivet. That's hot, hotter than it should be. Well, hotter than I need it to be. So we're gonna take our little towel here. Do that. There we go. Get our beans on there. So we're going to take a couple pieces of garlic. All right, we're just going to peel it off the skin. Just going to kind of crush it with our fingers. Bing, bang, boom. Take a little pinch of salt, just a tiny bit. Gravy is thick. The heat that's in the pan will keep it warm. So by the time we put it on to our plate, we should be pretty dang okay. So we got the water should take not a whole lot of time to heat up. So I think we'll be good. Let's set this down here, I think. We'll put that in there, out the way. Get our knife, which we need. That down out the way. All right, let's get our plate right there. We got a Going to use this tray just to contain everything here. There we go. So the green beans are coming along just fine. So the first thing we're going to start with, a little bit of helping on mashed potatoes. There we go. Yes, I like mashed potatoes, so man, nice and thick. A kind of stick to your ribs kind of thing. Taste this. Not too shabby, if I say so myself. So we're going to get our cutting board out. Yeah, 2 spoons is a classic technique. All right, so we're going to take our pork, our ham here. Not truly ham, but it's pork, so it's not the leg, but we are going to act like it is. We wrapped it up like a ham. So let's take the get the string off here. Not the neatest of affairs, but whatever. There you go. I'll take that. Throw that little piece of candied pork right there. Nice and sweet. Nice and sweet. So those are going. Nice and hot. A little bit of string there still. No worries. Get out of there. There we go. Get that started. Like that. There we go. Get all these little bits and bobs there as well. So you see that nice and cooked all the way through. A little bit of that sweetness. A little bit of the clove. Still coming through. Just right there. Grab me a couple wipes. Yep. Bring that up real quick. The water started to boil on the green beans. Slide that up out of the way. I think we'll be good. Gravy is the sauce is a nice consistency. Those are boiling. Let's take a little spoon here and there's a quick stir. Like I said, we're not taking the garlic too much. We're just using that to kind of perfume them. Cut that one in half. Why not? You know. Use our little mini tongs here to grab those and kind of drain them at the same time. We got enough for a second helping, so we are okay. Not quite perfect, but what do you want? We're in a truck. Nice thick gravy. Put some of that onto the mashed potatoes as well. And here is our Truckers ham, mashed potatoes, green bean supper. Yeah, exactly, Charles. And it's always my rant. Save the money, make better food, healthier food. Oh, boo-hoo, I gotta wash the dishes. Oh my God. You know, I'm sorry. I enjoy every aspect of cooking. The preparation, the cooking, the finishing, the eating, even the washing of the dishes afterwards. I know it sounds weird, but guess what? I do enjoy every aspect of it. So there's our dinner. Like I said, we're going about an hour more than we normally do. Mashed potato and gravy. Some simple green beans. And of course the pork, fork tender. And that sauteed onion. The bouillon, not overpowering. So that's my Christmas dinner. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me drone on for 2 hours and 40 something minutes. Hope you enjoyed the interruption in the live stream too. That was fun. But Merry Christmas. God bless. Hopefully next year is a far better year than this one was. I hope we all have, good fortune, safe, happy, fulfilled lives. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. I never thought I'd be doing a YouTube show. The fact that some of you have been around for a couple of years. B Blood's been there from pretty early on. No, sorry. A little bit of onion thing on my hands, apparently. Should have touched my eyes. Wipe my hands off here. B Blood, Charles Brandt, Attitude's been there for a long time. Linda Barker's been there for a long while. So, I want to thank everybody who ever even took the slightest amount of time to watch my vlog, watch my live streams, especially the cooking ones. Because I really enjoy the cooking ones most of all. I had a little onion juice on my hands, sorry. And it has been a pleasure making this content. I don't expect anybody to watch me, period, but you guys have been there. I don't expect you to be there every single time because we all have lives, and Lord knows I can't keep up with it half the time. I'm so far behind on the vlog, it's ridiculous. But we will do what we can, when we can, how we can, and hopefully we all, like I said, have a good, safe new year. and we all, try to remember, let's just be kind to each other, help each other. I don't need respect. That's too much of a thing to ask anybody who just knows somebody on the internet. I don't ask for your respect. I ask for your kindness, civility, decency, and hopefully a modicum of friendship. Like I said, be kind, help each other. Let's live. Remember what Christmas is about. I mean, the food's the one thing, the presents are great, but let's try to remember what it really truly means to me and to the most of the world. The lessons that were taught, whether you believe he is a Messiah, I do, and I believe he saved my soul, and I do everything I can to live up at least somewhat to that standard. I fail every day, but I will always try. And thank you to every one of you. And like I said, God bless. Have a good Christmas Eve with you and your families, hopefully at home. You have a great morning full of love, full of joy and happiness. Those of you with children at home, I envy you that you get to see their faces and see their happiness. And I pray that that continues all year and for the rest of your lives. So until the next time, thank you very much. I'll see you on Facebook. I'll see you here on YouTube. I will say a prayer for each and every one of you. So until the next time, God bless. Have a good evening. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good all.